Welcome to Ghosted and Roasted with Blair Bishop, a podcast about all things dating with a comedic twist. We have Archie. We have Archie today. Come here. Come on. Get over here. You don't get that toy. Archie wanted to destroy a toy today, and he is being bad now because he wants it. So we might... Anyway, let's move on. We have special guest Mike Larsen.
Hello. Happy to be here. Hello, Archie. Yeah.
Oh, no. Come on. I'll just take the squeaker out, I suppose. Get down. Get down. Get down. If I get the squeaker out, I think it'll be fine. And I don't care if he trashes the toy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway. Well, have fun with that, editors. All right. So, Mike, you're from San Francisco, right?
Yeah, I was born in San Francisco and grew up out by the airport, like just south of San Francisco.
Cool. And can you tell us a little bit about your comedy upbringing, like how you got started and your career?
My family's funny. My mom and dad are both very funny. We were broke as a family. My dad was unemployed most of my life. And we had, I have like four brothers and sisters, 5 of us in total. And the dinner table was hilarious. But when I was around 8, my grandmother, who was a big drinker, one night at, I think, Thanksgiving, was drunk and told a really funny story. And I said, Grandma, was that true? And she said, oh, honey, it doesn't have to be true if it's funny. And that was just like mind expanding. Like, I was 8 years old. I love lying. Right? An 8-year-old doesn't like lying. And I had permission. And for Christmas, I asked her to get me a joke book. And she got me, I don't know, it was just some stupid like store-bought joke book, whatever, bad jokes. But I just loved it. I loved not only reading them and then reading them to people. That was fun.
Yep.
But I also just got really into like, why is this even funny? What are jokes? How do they even work? And that fascinated me. So
that's cool.
And then I started, I didn't do open, I guess I was maybe 20, 22 or so when I first did an open mic in San Francisco. But,
okay.
Yeah, I was the funniest person in a very funny family. So by the time I went out, I had a little bit of skill. Still had a lot to learn, but
that's cool. So, and I know you've mentioned the story to me before, but can you tell like a little rendition of your first open mic?
So San Francisco in I don't know what, early mid 80s, whatever, was like a comedy capital, right? A lot of famous people were there. They weren't famous yet, but a lot of people who went on to be very famous. And so my very first open mic was at a place called Cobb's Pub. Dana Carvey of Saturday Night Live was a local comic. He hosted the open mic. I signed up. I was going to go on last. And right before I went on, Robin Williams dropped in. And did like 45 minutes. And I was going to leave. And Dana said, no, you can't leave. You're going up. And it was like past 2 a.m. The bar had closed, so I went up and did horribly. And I brought my brother and my best friend and this girl I liked. Which, so don't bring a girl you like to your first open mic. That's just stupid.
Yes.
Right?
So advice for everyone watching, do not do that.
Don't ever, even when you're good, don't bring to someone who you want to see you naked. Don't let them see you do comedy. That's just stupid. It's just such a bad decision. Anyway.
At what point should you let the people that you want to see naked do or see you do comedy?
When you're on television and they can just go watch it by themselves. I don't need them in the audience.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with you. One time I had a date with this guy and I was doing a comedy show in Spanish. And it was like a Hinge date or something last year at some point. And I invited him to this comedy show in Spanish. Well, he knew already from my profile that I do comedy sometimes. And so he found out like as we were going in that I was going to be doing a few minutes of comedy. Thank God he laughed, but so.
Yeah, and I've, certainly have, but yeah, I don't, I'm nervous enough, I don't really even like, I like that people who know me come to my shows. I appreciate that they come to my shows.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily like performing for them. I want an audience to be an audience. I want them to be a bunch of random people who I make laugh with my stuff. If I know the people in the audience, it just puts another level of consciousness to it so whatever. I appreciate when people come to my shows, but the greatest shows for me are somewhere out of town to a group of complete strangers.
Yeah. I have always, well, not always, I haven't done comedy anywhere near as long as you have, but just public speaking in general, it's so much easier when you don't know the people. There's less pressure. And then if you fail, you leave and you still don't know who they are. But the people that you do know will remember, and hopefully they won't be mean and say mean things about you. But
well, and the fact that you know each other, there's this suggestion that you're talking about them, or you make a reference to something, and it's something they do, and then it's like, I don't know, it just changes the dynamic of everything.
Yep.
I really, really love when people come to see my shows. I love, especially people who know me from other things. And in fact, recently it was someone who I'd met through other things, and I've known them for quite a long time.
But other things, you mean non-comedy things?
Non-comedy things.
Okay.
And they said, "Oh, I want to come see you do comedy." And I was like, "Yeah, I got a show, whatever." And they said, "Are you any good?" And I was like, "Well, you come or don't." Whatever the hell you said, right? But also, it's pretty easy to look up my credits and see that whatever, whatever, I don't care. So, and he's a nice person, and nothing of it. And it was really great. Like after the show, just the look on their face of like, "Oh my God, you're really good." And it was great. It was like really like kind of like I didn't know what to expect. And I was like, "Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, that's what I do. I'm doing it a long time. I'm really good at it."
That's the best.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
he was kind of embarrassed by expressing how much he liked it. It was weird for him too. So yeah, it was great.
What capacity did you know him from?
Through political stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah.
That's
you didn't know.
That's funny.
Because most people, especially now, comedy is just so just ridiculously overcrowded that when someone says, and I don't tell people I'm a comedian, they usually find out about it from someone else. But if someone says you're a comedian, most people are like, "Oh, good for you," whatever, dude, right? Isn't that precious? Yeah, I do karaoke. That's awesome. So, and I don't blame them. That's kind of what you should think. And so it is fun for me when I know they're coming, and it's like, I just know, like I say, I'm good at this. I know what I'm doing. So it is fun when they do it. But in their case, I didn't know he was coming to the show. That's what I really like. But I don't even know they're in the audience until after the show. And
yes.
You say, "Oh, hey,"
Yeah.
It's that whole thing like, "Oh, so-and-so's coming to the," I had someone say, "I'm bringing my mother, my mom and dad are in town. I'm bringing them to your comedy show. You're not dirty, are you?"
Oh.
And I'm like, "Don't bring them to the comedy show." And they're like, "Oh, are you dirty?" The fact that you asked me that question tells me you should not bring them to the comedy show. I'm not going to answer that question. I don't know what your mother considers dirty.
Right.
No, compared to comedians, I'm not dirty.
Yes.
But compared to your mother, I'm probably dirty, right? So
that's so
yeah,
true.
and they did come, and their mother had a wonderful time, But it's like it's a weird thing to like. You're going to ask me to change what I do because your mom's coming? That's stupid.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I feel like, in general, I don't care who you are, if you're going to a comedy club, you shouldn't expect it all to be perfectly clean unless it was advertised as a very clean show or catered to children or something.
And if it's advertised as a clean show, no, that means it sucks. All right. Same thing if something's advertised as a dirty show. It sucks. Go see a professional comedy show. Let the comedians do their act.
Yeah.
And enjoy the show or not. But this thing, and we do this a lot in Columbus, and I won't do them. When someone asks me, will you be on our clean shows? Like, no. Can I do a set without swearing? Of course. Most of my sets, if I swear, it's for a purpose, for a joke, whatever. But I don't like just random. That's just not how I talk.
Yeah, yeah.
But some people, that is how they talk. And a lot depends on what neighborhood they grew up in. And a lot of people grew up in neighborhoods where, every other word is a swear word. So what? Maybe you get used to the English language. People talk differently. You shouldn't be taking it personally.
Right.
I
agree 100%.
So, yeah, it's like people who just get so bent out of shape, or you're political, or you're whatever. Be funny, or don't do comedy. If you're funny, like there are some comedians who I have very, very different kind of social and political views of, and I don't even like them as people, but they're funny.
Okay.
And I will, not that I go out of my way to see them, but if I'm, at a club and one of them goes up, I'm going to go in and watch because they're good comedians. They know how to write jokes. They're funny. Even those jokes where you're like, oh, that's horrible, but it was funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I would like people to treat me because I talk about politics, and if someone is a Trump supporter or something, they're not going to like what I have to say about politics, but they should appreciate the jokes are good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So they should be able to laugh and say, you son of a bitch, but you're funny. You know?
I haven't dabbled in political jokes yet. I feel like if I do, I'm going to try and have something that jabs at both sides because...
Well, and you're wired differently. You're not I'm a political person. And most of my act anyway, I make fun of myself. So even when I'm talking about politics, it's usually making fun of myself. I might make a occasional comment about
you just licked your straw.
Oh, it's okay.
So sorry about that.
That's okay. What do they always say? The dogs' mouths are cleaner than human mouths.
I feel like Mythbusters proved that wrong.
I know. It is clearly wrong. They eat, shit they find on the ground. Clearly they're not.
Lucky for you, he hasn't put any actual shit in his mouth.
Yeah.
So, yeah. He usually just goes for sticks or toys.
Yeah.
So, anyway, do you ever talk about dating in I know you've talked about your wife in some of your shows, but a
little bit.
Okay.
I don't know that I've ever, even single and everything, I never did a lot of, for one thing, dating material was very common. So most comics on the road, single comics, were a big motivating factor of them doing comedy was to meet women on the road or
get laid.
Men, right?
Yeah,
especially on the road, right?
Yep.
You wanted what was referred to as road tail.
Oh my god!
I remember that. Get any road tail?
that just makes me think of Roadhead.
You know, right? Yeah, similar, right?
Yeah, that's.
But so dating comedy, kind of the. Stereotype, someone like, I'm so-and-so, I just broke up with my girlfriend, and that was mostly for that reason I didn't do dating material, was because everyone did dating material.
Yeah.
And so I was like, but occasionally I would, for me, it's all about, if I write a really great joke about a topic, I'm going to do that topic, but, yeah.
So, did you get very much road tail?
No, I'm horrible at that. I'm so clueless to women romantically. I'm great with women friends, and I treat everyone the same. But I was so bad at like letting someone know that I was interested in something else, right? So, I would have great shows, in like some college town, and these, drunk women would come up and tell me how funny I was, and I'd be,
Mm-hmm.
oh, thanks, hey, great. And then walk away, and the other comics would be like, what the hell's wrong with you? Make a move. Oh, no, they just wanted to tell me that again. It was so clueless.
Do you think that most people's motivation going up to you after the show, if they say great show or something, is to get something else?
No.
Or you just think it's occasional?
Yeah, I don't think it, people want to tell me I did a good show.
Oh,
No, I don't. I mean, there have certainly been times, but I'm also, it's very different. I mean, it's different. I'm a doofus. It would never have been, I mean, it was a young comic. I didn't market myself as some like sexy person. I kind of wore bright outfits and kind of really marketed myself then, much differently than I do now, but much more as kind of a doofusy kind of guy. No, I mean, honestly, unless someone like just came flat out and said, want to go back to my hotel room, I would not. I was clueless.
I feel like for me, first of all, I would be pissed if someone said, want to go back to my hotel room, because
Yeah.
that's like, I feel like they're looking at me like a piece of meat, not a human.
Right.
But secondly, I feel like guys have to be pretty clear on their intentions, and I don't make the first move. Like, if I do, it's like crazy.
Right.
Because I get nervous, and I don't get. It's weird. I don't get nervous about like talking in front of people, but I get. I get nervous about being funny in front of people because comedy's hard. But I don't get nervous about talking in front of people. But I get so nervous about like talking to cute guys.
Yeah. Well, it is so much easier for me to talk to 500 people than it is one person.
Yeah. So
an
this
audience,
hard for
an audience is wonderful. No, but we're friends. That's different.
Yeah, true.
But also, we're talking about my favorite topic, which is me. So that's easy. But yeah, like I remember doing like a big theater or one an outdoor amphitheater, and there was like 4,000 people in the crowd, right? And someone said, "Oh my God, is it hard, performing for 4,000 people?" And it's like, "No, it's wonderful. Are you kidding me? One person is hard, but 4,000 people at a outdoor concert where everyone's having a great time and they love me, and the amount of energy that comes off that big of an audience. And that's what people don't realize as a performer, that when you're on stage, you feel the heat and the vibration of the audience, of a big audience, right? When the laughter, it kind of, sound doesn't travel that fast. It takes a while sometimes for it to get to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that feeling is just ridiculous, right? It's like, why am I even here? How does this happen? So no, that is the best, performing for a big audience, or even like locally here, the Funny Bone, when it is full.
It's like 400 plus people.
And it's got the balcony.
Yeah.
And it's just this wall of sound coming at you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's really cool. How big is the biggest audience you've performed for?
Probably that outdoor festival. It's at like this, I think it's like the Palmason Winery in Northern California, but it's like a concert venue at the winery.
How many people is that?
I think it was like 4,000 something.
Okay.
I don't remember, but it's a lot of these in California, these kind of outdoor amphitheaters where there's some seats, and then there's like tiered lawn where people bring their blankets and and it was like it was an event that like started at like 5:00, and so I got on stage and there was like the sunset, and it was like magic hour, and people had been, whatever, drinking wine or whatever, and they were it was awesome. They'd seen a few comics before me. the headliner was coming on after me. I was in like the perfect spot. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was awesome. That's one of those shows where and I think we did 2 shows that night, but it's like you just don't want it to end.
Mm-hmm.
The other place, it's like one of the coolest venues in Virginia. A Wolf Trap is a big outdoor, concert venue, but they have an old barn that they call the Barns at Wolf Trap, and it's like a
Okay.
barn that was built like in the 1600s, that's been converted into a concert hall, and it holds probably about 300 people, and like the National Symphony plays there, and
Oh.
and they do all these very kind of highbrow acts there.
Mm-hmm.
And once a year they do a comedy show, and I think I'm going back next year. But I've done a couple. It's been 10 years probably since I've been there. But that's another one of those places that it's just so many great acts have been there, and it's this historic building, and people are so darn appreciative.
That's nice.
It's awesome. I mean, that's one of those places where, like I like especially in a big club before a show, I like to just sit either on the stage, like behind the curtain, or like out, like up in the balcony and watch people come in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of those places. It's just such a cool theater.
That's cool.
Kind of feel it fill up and kind of get a sense of, the people walking in. You get a sense. Oh, it seems like date night or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You get or hey, these are older people who, or it looks like this is like couples who had to get a sitter for tonight. This is a big deal.
Do you feel like you try to do any crowd work or anything with people that are like on a date at the show, or what do you?
Again, that's kind of like the well-tilled soil. Everyone does that.
Yeah.
I have always talked to the audience. I like talking to the audience. I don't use the word crowd work because that connotates something entirely different than what I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to the audience. We were in some of the best advice I got very early on, and it was actually from an improv teacher. When I first started doing comedy, I used to do a lot of improv, and he said, you have to inhabit the same space as your audience.
Mm-hmm.
You are all in the same room.
Yeah.
You have different roles here, but if it's hot or if it's cold or if it's noisy or smoky or there's people talking, you are all experiencing that. Don't pretend that you're different than them. So when I talk to people in the audience, it's usually either someone catches my eye or there's something interesting about them.
Yeah.
Or what I like if everyone at a table's having a great time and one person is not, I'll occasionally go to them and just say, "You okay?" And occasionally I've gotten, I'm not feeling good or something, right? It's like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Then I move on, right? But, whatever. I try to find, like, if I'm going to talk to the audience, I want a real response.
Yeah.
From someone, and something. One, it's fun for me. If it truly is, it's not. Most of the people who say they do crowd work, especially here, they have the same lame jokes. They do this. You see them twice. They do the same horrible crowd work jokes, or they do the trick. There's a couple people here who do this parlor trick, where they learn someone's name and then they call that person's name back 4 or 5 times throughout the night. And that's like, wow, they're a genius. And it's like, no, they're not. It's like a vaudeville thing. They've been doing that forever. It's not an original comedy. And so it's fine, but this idea of crowd work, like it's lazy. Most people who do it because they don't have jokes. If they were able to write an act, they would have. No, you go watch the people who say they're crowd work comics. It's like, all right, good for you. Whatever you want to go do, and if people want to pay to see it, good for them. I got nothing against that. It's just not my brand of comedy or what I would see. And if I'm in a club, say like I'm going on or I've been on, and I see someone come on and just do crowd work, that's usually where I go hang out in the green room until they're done and wait for a comedian to get up, do their material.
Okay, fair enough.
It's like anything, music, right? We have different music tastes. I got nothing against people who like whatever country, whatever, that's great for them. That's not my thing.
That's
I like
fair.
some of it, or whatever. And I have my, it's just comedy. There's different tastes.
Yep. And same with dating.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. It's like, I remember someone, who made a comment of some guy, and some guy hit on him or something. And he's like, what do you do in that case? It's like, well, you've never been hit on someone you're not attracted to? That's how you treat it. What's the big deal? It's like, everyone has friends who you cannot imagine how they're with their partner, right? You're like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
Like,
God.
oh, he's got
they're
money,
just like a horrible personality or whatever. There's something right.
Yeah.
And you're like, and that doesn't bother me. It's like, whatever, man, whatever, right?
Yeah.
They got their taste, I got my taste.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, how have you, because you're married.
I am married.
Actually, backing up for one second. So, how does your wife feel about you being here today?
I don't think she knows I'm here.
Wait, really?
Well, why would she know I'm... Not that it has anything to do with you. Who tells their wife what they're doing on a Saturday afternoon? It's not like I'm hiding it. I mean, Tina, if she said, where were we? Oh, I did Blair's podcast. Oh, how's Blair? No, we do not have that relationship where we ask each other where we're going.
Oh, well, honestly, that sounds nice, actually, because it sounds like like relaxing. Like you coexist when you coexist, and otherwise,
and it has less to do with trust as just not caring, right? I want to know, when you be home, you don't have to worry if you're not home by a certain time, but it's not like, Yeah.
How long have you guys been married?
So you know how there's always like points in history when you met someone and you have to go back to that point?
Yeah.
And then go forward? So we had just started dating when 9/11 happened. So I always go back to 2001 we were dating.
Yeah.
2000, end of 2002 we got married. So it'll be 24 years in November.
Wow. So it hadn't been a year yet when you got married?
No, it had been. It had been about 18 months maybe.
When you got married?
I think.
Did you propose?
Yeah, but we had certainly talked about it. It wasn't like, oh, I hope she says yes. But by the time I asked her, clearly she was going to say yes.
That's cool. Wait, so I love asking people this. How did you know it was right? How did you decide? How did you both know? I mean, you've probably talked about that too, right?
No, we don't talk about that stuff.
Oh.
We were both pretty, I don't know. No, so I had been married before. I was married before, right? And I think we talked about this once before. That person who couldn't talk to women, that was my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Then I was married for about 6 years. And she left kind of abruptly. I didn't see it coming, and whatever. That's another story. From that point, that divorce, in 1996, she left me, partly saying I'm a loser. I'm never going to amount to anything.
Wow, that's
2 months later, I got my very first writing job, and got suddenly making good money.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 2 months of, depression, laying in the fetal position, woe is me, I'm a loser, blah, blah, blah. Get my first writing job. I'm newly single. I have money. I'm not wealthy, but money, right? And my, TV writing job.
Yeah.
Went and bought a new sports car. I was 36 at the time.
That's cool.
And I'd had the experience of having been married for 6 years and kind of getting a better sense of how women work, because my wife and her friends would talk, and I'd be like, man, I wish I knew that when I was single, that kind of stuff. So that period, that 5 or 6 years or so in between, was a much better situation for dating. I had some confidence. I had the wind at my back. I had, at that point, was a successful, not only a writer, but a comedian who'd been on The Tonight Show and HBO, and I was kind of, Yeah, I had a little bit of swagger. I felt a lot more confidence.
Yeah.
Women actually wanted to date me. I didn't like, and I was meeting women in that context of LA comedy scene.
Yep.
So I was a known commodity.
That's
That
cool.
made it much different. Much. So when I met Tina, I was writing for a show called Two Guys and a Girl, which was Ryan Reynolds' show. And Tina had just gotten to LA. She's an actor from Ohio. She had just arrived in town, and her very first audition, she landed a network sitcom. Crazy.
Cool.
And she played Ryan's character's girlfriend of that episode. Like, his character had a different girl every week. Man,
that must have been fun.
Yeah. So, and Ryan is such a good guy. I just absolutely love Ryan. So the thing that, I mean, Tina's beautiful. Obviously, and hilarious and a really good actor. But the thing so the other actresses on the show, were always trying to fix me up with when I was like, I don't want to date another actor. I've dated actors. It's not my thing. But Tina had The Grapes of Wrath, the John Steinbeck book that she was reading. It's like, when you work on TV shows, a lot of downtime, a lot of sitting around. So people who know what they're doing bring a book, right? Yeah. And she was, and I love John Steinbeck. I'm a John Steinbeck freak. And I was like, oh my God, is that woman reading John Steinbeck? And so I was literally checking out the book on her lap. And one of our regular actors said, hey, you want to meet the guest star? Because that's what they call the guest actors. And I was like, no, I was looking at her book. Yeah, sure you are. So anyway, they introduced me, and we were talking, and I mentioned that I was a comedian. Oh, when are you, when are you doing a show? And I was like, oh, I'm actually at the Comedy Store tonight. And if you want to come. And she's like, oh, yeah, can I bring my boyfriend? And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, Anyway, that night, I'm up at the Comedy Store. I mentioned to this comedian, Elaine Boozler, who's was there at that time, was very famous, that this woman I met was coming and bringing her boyfriend. Anyway, I absolutely killed it. I think it was the best set I ever had at the store. And I always did well there. But it's just absolutely crushed. And when I get off stage, Elaine Musick's up and she goes, that woman was laughing her whole time and her boyfriend never unfolded his arms. So, like 3 days later, Tina calls me and says, hey, thank you for the tickets to the show. We loved it. And I said, oh, great. What else is going on? And she's like, well, I broke up with my boyfriend. So, yeah. And that, I mean, really, for me, if I could just do comedy for you, that is my best selling. That's the way I can sell you. I mean, right? That's the thing that, Yep. Some people can play guitar or sing. I do that well. So that was like the perfect introduction to a woman.
Well, so, and do you feel like, I guess that's good because you didn't really know her at that point, because earlier we were talking about knowing people in the audience.
No, I didn't know her, and I didn't she wasn't even on the market, right? I mean, she had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And she's bringing him to come see my show. Clearly,
so no
she
pressure.
could have come by herself if she was interested in me.
Yeah.
No, by far the biggest pressure is that I'm at the Comedy Store. I mean, careers are made and killed at places like that when you're in LA.
Yeah.
Far, far more pressure that I was at the Comedy Store. Not that some woman that I met who's, you're sure, a beautiful woman. So what? You meet beautiful women all the time. Whatever, right? Yeah. But, cool. Of course, when I got off and Elaine was like, oh, you should laugh. Then I was like, oh, this is a good night to have a woman show up to see me.
Oh, yeah. So I guess, that was probably the start of you, knowing she was good for you, because she, first of all, likes your sense of humor. And then you said earlier that you like hers, too. Does she ever do any comedy?
No, but she was a great comedy actress. She's really great. But even then, she came to the show, and then I was leaving, the next week. I went on a 2-week vacation to England by myself, because I was single. And I think I may have told you that I was single, and I was thinking about, I had some money.
Yeah.
And so I was going to go on a vacation, and ever since I was a little kid, I've loved Mary Poppins, and so I thought I'm going to go to London to meet Mary Poppins. So I had to go somewhere, and London's just such an awesome place. So it wasn't until I got back from London without Mary Poppins that Tina and I actually went on a date. So
That's cool. Man, I want to go to London. I hope I get to one day. But
that's great.
So what'd you do for your first date with her?
Date. Well, oh, I know exactly what we did. She was cast in a play at the Pasadena Playhouse, which is a very prestigious theater.
Okay.
And her play was just starting rehearsals. She had just gotten cast, but they had given her tickets to see the previous play that was in production, so that she could check out the theater and meet the people. And so we went to that.
Cool.
And it was great. And then we went out and got some dinner and just hit it off. She's very funny. And then when her show opened,
Mm-hmm.
It was a big deal. It was directed by David Lee, who directed all the Friends episodes,
Oh,
a lot
cool.
of them. And there was all these, opening night. I met her dad for the first time because he flew out to see her. And like opening night at Pasadena Playhouse, Danny DeVito was in the audience. The entire cast of Cheers was there.
Wow.
It was like crazy. All the people that were in this. It was a very Pasadena Playhouse, and she absolutely stole the show. She had the smallest part, and just stole the show. And it was so great for me seeing like, oh man, she's funny. She's clearly the funniest person on stage with these pretty well-known actors, but seeing her dad, like, he was like crying, like throughout the show. Every time she'd get a laugh, he'd be like, it was just awesome. It was like, oh, I just love that. And then seeing all these like celebrities come up to her afterward, that was awesome.
That's so cool. Was it, okay, so we have two questions from this. One is, what was it like meeting her dad for the first time? Was it scary at all? And the second part, so I don't forget, is when you went out, did you pay for dinner?
Oh, yeah.
And who should pay? It's 2026 now. Do you have any opinions on 2026? Who should pay?
Yeah. If I'm gonna pay if we go out to dinner. Honestly, if you and I went out, I would probably at least offer to pick up the check.
Oh, I would feel like weird because it wouldn't be a date, obviously.
Like, what is it? Right. But obviously, there's times when it's just not whatever. You read the room.
Yeah.
But in general, like it has nothing to do with being a woman. I go out with any guy comic.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of it for me. It also has to do with we usually have some sense of each other's financial situation, and with comics, a lot of comics are broke. I was broke as a young comic.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's just like, no, I'm not broke. You're broke. I'll buy you your damn sandwich. Right? It's not a big right. And you think nothing of it.
Yeah.
And I think nothing of it when someone wants to pick up a tab for me. It's like, oh, thank you. I don't.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And it's super nice.
But yeah, like the dating thing, and now it's just everything's weird. Even things like walking into a building and like opening a door for people. I open a door for everyone. If it's a guy my age, if he's behind me and I'm at the door first, I open the door for him, right? I was raised right.
Yeah.
But if I do that and it is a, beautiful young woman, I do feel a little bit like, oh, does she think I'm being a creep? Even though I'm still going to do it, but you do like, I
would hope not. Like I would hope people
accept
a nice gesture.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you just, yeah. But yeah, I would normally, but like, in a dating situation, I've certainly been in dating situations where we split it. or whatever, and that was usually like someone, like she said, let's split it, and it's like, yeah, sure, I'm fine with whatever anyone wants to do.
Interesting.
But there's guys, and what I love about the social media thing is that these guys, some of these comics and clubs who are on like these Columbus Facebook page, like just post like just stupid stuff just from a personal branding standpoint. It's like that's what you want out there? That you're complaining that some woman ordered an expensive thing on the menu and you had fine. Okay, be pissed that happened. Great. Tell your buddy about it. Great. I got no problem with that. You can say, it was kind of a shitty thing for her to do. Cool. But you want to put that out like to the world? And how does that help you in any way? That's the thing. Like, what are you hoping to get from that message that you put out there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It doesn't make women like you more. It doesn't make you cool to guys. Sometimes I just read this thing. It's like, what? Is there a mission with this? Or yeah.
That's valid. That's a valid point. I feel like, so do you think, like, do you have a personal feeling or opinion on, because I feel like you might not, because you said, whatever people want, I'm cool with it. But do you feel like going into a date, if it's a guy and a girl going out, like, do you feel like normally speaking the guy should get it? Should it be whoever invited whoever? Should it be like, or, I mean, sometimes you're just going back and forth with date ideas, like someone wants to go out and you're like, yeah, I'll go out, and then you go.
Yeah, no, and that's different. And sometimes, I think in general, dating or not, if somebody initiated the thing, maybe it's more likely for them. I just don't like uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just do whatever makes it the least uncomfortable,
Yeah.
And if the check comes out, you do the slow reach for the wallet to start the conversation and see if they're going to say anything. Yeah, but also, I mean, generationally, I did not grow up in the age of consent, right? Not that I didn't get consent, but it wasn't a thing we talked about, right?
I just did not expect that to be what you said.
No, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is now an understanding that you're supposed to have some sort of wink and a nod to consent. Ideally, you have more than that. But at least when I was younger dating, and when I had trouble, even talking with women, and that was part of it. A lot of women, I mean, educated, professional women, still kind of lived in a world where they wanted to be pursued and they were supposed to, hard to get, whatever, they're supposed to play the game. And so that's what I was so bad at. It's like, I wish we would either say, hey, we're into each other, let's make out, right? I mean, but like, what role do I play here? That was always, oh my God, but that would just, my panic attacks would just kick in of like trying to figure out what role you're supposed to play.
Yeah, I don't like the hard to get thing. I don't like having to play games. I like knowing too, so I get what you're saying. But it's also like, some stuff kills the mood too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Do I have consent to kiss you now?
Actually, okay. That really, not in those words, but going into 9th grade, or maybe it was during the fall of 9th grade. I had this boyfriend. It was like, started in the summer, and then school started. We were dating. And he asked me to kiss me. And I said no, because it totally lost its luster. If he had just kissed me,
gone for it.
He would have been my first kiss. Yeah.
Right. No, I get it. Yes.
Yeah, so that was so disappointing. And then, I think in the spring, I finally did have my first kiss. And it was the most disappointing thing ever. I remember, I got back into my parents' house, and I leaned up against the door, and I was like, oh, I was let down today.
I remember in high school when I should have been a little more. All my friends had girlfriends. They were,
I don't know what he's doing.
uh,
Come here. Come on, move. Let's go this way. Keep going. Sorry, let's rewind. So back in high school, 9th grade or something?
Yeah, so I but we were like, hanging out at the schoolyard on a summer night, like where we would just kind of hang out in this driveway of this school was where the kids would gather and playing Truth or Dare with the girls in the neighborhood. And it was all real innocent kind of Truth or Dare stuff,
Okay.
like, doorbell ditch or whatever, right?
Yeah,
go do
yeah.
this or go do that. And someone dared me to kiss Lisa Pewitt, who was like the neighborhood beauty, right?
Ooh.
Lisa Pewitt was awesome.
Was she playing?
Yes, she
Okay.
was in it, and someone said, "Kiss Lisa," and I was like, "All right." And I looked at Lisa, and Lisa was like, "Come on, kiss me," right? And I was like, went in really quick, and I missed her entirely. I like went in and like kissed the air or whatever. And it was like I'm getting like heart palpitations remembering that moment. It was like the instant where I realized, one, that dude, you have no game, but that I had a chance with Lisa. She was looking at me like, yeah, come on, kiss me, right?
That's
all I had to do was just not be an idiot. Just do the most normal kissing grandma kind of kiss. Right? And who knows? Right?
That is, I
missed her completely. And then years later, I was at a barbecue at someone's house. I was back home visiting. We were an adult. And Lisa Pewitt was there. And she came over and said, "Do you remember me?" And I was like, "You look familiar." Lisa Pewitt. Oh, my God, Lisa. And then she introduced me to her husband as, "This is the guy who played Truth or Dare, was supposed to kiss me, and he missed." And I was like, "What? You've been telling that story your whole life?" I assume no one noticed but me. And she's like, "Oh my God, I love that story." That story.
Oh my God.
So it was like more like, well, at least I've done things in my life now. It's okay.
So you didn't go back and try to kiss her again?
Oh God, no! I prayed I would never see her again. Are you kidding?
I mean, like during the game, you didn't like try to redeem yourself?
No. In fact, I probably made an excuse and went home and cried.
No.
And like seriously, for years after. She was my friend in the neighborhood. I couldn't make eye contact with Lisa Pewitt because I felt that she knew the reason I panicked was because I had a crush on Lisa Pewitt, but who didn't? She was the neighborhood cutie, right? And for whatever reason, I thought, I'm sure she probably found it adorable that, oh, Mike, the little dorky kid, has a crush on me. Whatever, who cares, right? But yeah, it was devastating for me.
Oh, that sucks. Did you ever had you kissed anyone at that point? Or
No, God no.
When was your first kiss?
My junior prom. I went to my junior prom only because my brother told me if I didn't, he'd kick my ass. And so I asked like a girl from a different school who was younger, who I was sure would say yes, or pretty sure.
Yeah.
And that was my first. And she had dated a few times. She had already been out there a while on the dating scene, and so yeah, I just remember like I had no idea what I was doing. And so, when she came at me like with the open mouth, I was like, "What is happening?" What? Oh my God, what is it? So, meanwhile, I'm on like a double date, and my friend who I'm double dating with, they like left the car to go actually have sex like on playground equipment because they were normal red-blooded high school students or whatever. And I was just like, oh, yeah.
That's so funny.
I was such a dork.
I just, with the open mouth thing, I just got like PTSD. This one guy that I dated, this one guy I dated like years ago. Every time he'd go in for a kiss, his mouth would form a perfect circle. He'd be like, I'm like, what the heck is that? Like every time,
And you obsess about things. What the heck?
and every single time we kissed and it was fine. Like there's nothing wrong with the feeling of the kiss was great, but like I'd start laughing every time he'd go in to kiss me. Like, so.
And then I once had a woman who, like, I knew she was wrong immediately. We were on a good date. We were on a great date, and we went to kiss, and she like gave me a note on my kissing, like, or immediately. She's like, "You know what you should be doing?" And it was just like, "Oh, this is so wrong. I don't need notes," you know. And it was funny because I remember her like saying, "Oh, this was great. We should go out again." And I'm thinking, "There's no way we're going out. I don't need more notes.
Oh no!
I don't need. What else are you going to correct?"
So if the kissing is like really bad for the girl, she should never say it.
I don't think it was that bad. I don't know what it even was. I don't remember even what it was.
Well, one time,
yeah.
Okay, I've given like a couple people some notes.
After you've been dating a while, probably.
No.
Yeah.
So one I remember was in high school, and his whole mouth was going around both of my lips, like. And I was like, he kept doing it, and I was like, I think you're doing it wrong.
Yes.
And because it was horrible. Like, who wants to be slobbered all around their whole mouth?
Right.
Like, that's like giving you a whole slobber beard.
Right. No, yeah.
And he was trying to make out, and I'm like, dude, no. So, but, hopefully that note helped him do better in the future.
Right.
And kind of recently, this guy kept biting my lip. And I was like, can you maybe bite a little less? Like, that's so aggressive. I don't like it. It kind of hurts.
Uh-huh.
So,
And that was like his move. It wasn't like by accident.
No, it was definitely. It kept happening, and I was like, ow, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Right. You're like, do other women like this? Am I missing something?
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. I'm not like a BDSM, like, I want pain girl.
Right.
Like, I'm a gentle, like, treat me like you want to take care of me, not like you want to rip my face off.
Yes, yeah. I remember once going on a date with, and it was someone who met me during comedy. And I love joking around with people. I like when someone busts my chops and we tease each other.
Mm-hmm.
But this woman was just like nonstop and thinking that was how you talk to a comedian.
Oh.
Right? Just constantly trying to better me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you're not going to be funnier than me, okay? But it wasn't even that. It was just that it was this constant sarcasm about, and it was like, and she was beautiful, and it was like, how someone like people who are like so attractive and then they open their mouth and you're like, oh man, I wish you hadn't spoken. You were perfect.
Yeah.
you know, but it was one of those things that was just like, I don't fault you. You do you. That's great. That's your thing. Go good. It's just not my thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got PTSD of some really pretty people that just are bad at talking. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, in a little bit, we should probably wrap up, but I do have some questions for you.
Okay.
Okay. One I have is from a listener of the podcast. And since you're married, what's the secret to a happy marriage?
Oh. Not telling each other where you're going? Honestly, I don't know that. I certainly wouldn't hold my marriage or any marriage up to like a standard other people should follow because they're all different. Have your own life.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my stand-up comedy. She doesn't come to my show. I don't really. Every now and then she'll come to a show. She doesn't want to go there. I don't want her there. Personal. I want it. That's my world. I'm gonna do my thing. She doesn't, and she doesn't need to be there and be like somebody's wife.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's cool. Well, honestly, we mostly leave each other alone. We watch The Pit together. That's awesome. We
Yeah.
talk about how much we like shows when we watch shows together.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we do our stuff. She's got her friends. She has her job. She goes and plays pickleball. In fact, we both play pickleball, but at different places, not on
Really?
purpose. But it just happened that way. There was one near me that had a thing on a Tuesday night that I can do. She's got one in Columbus with her friends, and she does.
Cool.
That's cool. Yeah, we, nothing against playing with each other, but we got our own things.
I think that's awesome. I feel like some people are just like constantly together, and I think I'd lose my mind.
And that's great if that's what they want to do. But if it's like because you think you got to police the other person, what kind of life is that?
Yeah.
What? I mean, Tina's a beautiful woman. I know men hit on her. Of course they. Why wouldn't they?
Right.
Right? She knows that I'm a comic and women approach me after the show. Of course they. Right? Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's nice that you guys like trust each other and aren't insecure about that.
Or everyone's insecure about things, but whatever. You don't let that define you.
Right.
Yeah. No, we, yeah. But, marriage is, it's kind of a stupid system.
Why?
It just doesn't make a whole lot of, I mean.
Other than taxes?
Well, raising children, it's certainly helpful. And sure, there are financial reasons that are great. And, when you find someone who's your friend and isn't bad to hang out with, that's great. But there's just so many other things attached to it. How you want to live, your taste and what your house should look like.
Yeah.
All of that stuff that has nothing to do with, I was attracted to someone's body and they were attracted to someone's sense of humor, right?
Yeah.
That's why we ended up together, not because of anything else, right? It was pretty basic animal attraction, right? And then you get together, but then all these other things come with it.
Yep.
So I don't question anyone else's relationship other than sometimes wonder, like, God, I wonder how they make it work. That doesn't make sense on paper, that one, but who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe they just leave each other alone, or maybe it's not working. Maybe they absolutely hate each other and fight constantly and put on a brave face when they go out.
True.
Whatever,
I would not want to deal with that. Like, if I ever get married, I hope that it's for the long haul and there's no splitting up. But if someone's making my life miserable, I sure as hell will leave them.
Right, you hope. But I would also hope that you have enough respect for you as a human being to know that people do change. And wants change. And in this world now where everybody works and everyone has careers.
Yep.
And sometimes careers take you in different directions.
Yeah.
And as much as possible to allow that to happen. And like I say, I had my first wife, that marriage ended and she left.
Yep.
She met someone else and left, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
But I got over it.
Yep.
It was horrible. But eventually it's not so horrible.
Yeah.
And eventually it was clearly the best thing for me.
Yeah.
Like years later, or not even, shortly after when I would run into her, and there were a couple times I said, in fact, she once said, this sounds stupid, but do you forgive me for leaving you? And I was like, I thank you for leaving me. How's that? Best thing that ever happened to me because my life is so much better now. I can't really forgive you for the thing that hurt me 10 years ago. It still hurt me 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not dwelling on it. You shouldn't dwell on it.
Right.
And part of it was me being a little bit of an asshole that she wanted to hear the word forgive and I wasn't going to give her that. I will say I'll go through my thesaurus of every other word except the one you want to hear, It's partly just being a dick or whatever. But honestly, I was happy that it happened. As horribly soul-crushing as it was at the time.
Yeah.
Not just for your wife to leave, but to leave for some other guy and say you're a loser who would never amount to anything. It was especially hurtful. So it's like, I have enough. I owe enough to who I was at that age to not betray that guy. That guy had some legitimate feelings, and I'm not going to say that they were not acceptable for that time. That I now, when I'm doing well, can say, it didn't happen. It did,
Yeah.
but no hard feelings. We got over it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Also, I like the way you're like looking back and talking about like looking out for that guy or whatever. That's a cool way to look at it.
Did you ever see like a picture of yourself from like, I have a picture of myself in the 6th grade on my little board that I write on. And, the term, what would Jesus do? I also think like, what would 12-year-old Mike do? And I need to make that kid proud.
That's
I'm not
cool.
going to do everything right, but I remember at 12 years old what I wanted to be as an adult. A kind of a vibe. God, if you told me at 12 years old that I was going to be a professional comedian on television, oh my God, that would have been awesome, right? I didn't, and so, the choices you make and the things you do, and sometimes we do things we're not terribly proud of.
Yeah.
And I think, he would not be happy about that.
That's kind of awesome.
I'm not a real religious person anymore. I grew up, religious, but that picture is kind of like my, whatever, conscience or God figure, whatever. Like that's my higher power, is to like live to the standards that goofy kid wanted, right?
That's cool. Huh. I like that. I feel like this is like we're wrapping up on a wholesome note right now.
Yeah.
So any last dating advice for our listeners, or do you want to talk about any ghosting or roasting or anything?
I would say in general with everything, the thing I wish I knew in my 20s, in the prime of my dating life, of God, just not be so damn serious about it, and to, if you find someone attractive or whatever, to take the chance and let it be known in some way. And that was the thing that I couldn't do. Partly it was fear of rejection.
Yeah.
Part of it was like my weird Catholic guilt of like admitting that I'm thinking of doing naughty things, whatever stupidness was going on in my head at the time. I try to impart some of that on my son who's in college.
Yeah.
And of course he doesn't want to hear it. Dad, shut up. I don't want to hear your dating advice, But just, cut yourself some slack. Have fun. Don't be a dick.
Yeah.
But other than that, you're fine. Do whatever, right? Whatever. Go have some fun. Be nice to people. Protect yourself,
Yeah.
basic, and I wish I had that, in my 20s. I would have gotten so much road tail.
Oh my gosh. All right, I think that's a perfect place to end. Okay, well, everyone, may your dates be great and your red flags be obvious. Have a good one. See you next time.